What is the fastest way a room of happy people turns sour you've witnessed? I was on a Chicago to New York flight. We all get on the plane, but were delayed taking off due to a heavy storm going on. About 20 minutes in, everybody was still pretty calm until the pilot announces they are working on getting our baggage loaded because it's been sitting on the tarmac this entire time. The entire plane lucks out and sees all our luggage just sitting there in the pouring rain uncovered and starts freaking out. I was watching Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon in a movie theater when it came out in the early 1970s. The projector fried during a fight scene. I made the mistake of playing categories with my mother. She said no foreign words, you have to use English words. Fine, fair enough. She then called out someone for using a foreign word. I can't remember, it's been 10 years. He took off the points. The next freaking round she used 3 foreign words. I called her out on it and she said it was no big deal, it was just a game. I argued that not only had she set the rule, but that she already called someone out for doing it. She called me a freaking a-hole and left the room. The Thanksgiving family time was over as pretty much everyone decided that was the time to leave. Total time from game start to end of the family time. 6 minutes. Bride throwing up on herself and the dance floor during the first dance. She tried to hold it back, but the groom just pointed her towards the dance floor and she let her rip. Was impressive. Similar story, bride and groom plus the 6-person wedding party finished a handle of Fireball after the ceremony and before coming into the reception. Their introduction song was a swing dance song and the groom tries to swing her under and between his legs. She had her head thrown back and smacked the back of her head on the ground, knocking her unconscious for 5 minutes. To top it off, he stepped on her skirt before he swung her, ripping a huge tear in her dress. People started leaving before and after dinner began. When the boss got drunk at the Christmas party and let slip that there was going to be layoffs coming in the new year. Bad snowstorm started about 4 AM a few years ago. My co-workers and I were texting each other thinking no way would they make us come into our job today. We are non-essential workers. We're all home waiting for the email to go out regarding whether or not our boss would give us the day off. Email finally goes out around 7:30 AM saying that we would have a shorter day but everyone must show up for work by 9. So I layered up, cleaned off my car, shoveled out of my parking spot and headed to work on very precarious roads. I got to work on time and was greeted by my co-workers who were all pretty happy just to not have gotten into an accident on the way over. All of the clients and meetings had been cancelled so there was a party-like atmosphere. Just as we were talking about playing charades, we get another email from the boss saying because road conditions were so bad they were closing the agency after all and everyone had to go home. This was 20 minutes after we had all gotten there. I have never seen 20 plus people all scream "Are you freaking kidding me" at the same time before. It was absurd and everyone was pissed. Hey, my school did this to me couple years ago. This school is infamous for never closing due to weather so I checked, saw no closing, dig out my car, brave the tundra all the way there, get inside and go to my classroom and wait. Turns out 10 minutes before I parked they cancelled classes. I was alone in my anger though, because apparently the entire class had premonitions and didn't show like I did. I used to work at a racing stables and lived in a notorious flood zone. One night it was absolutely pissing down and I knew some of the roads would be flooded, so text my boss at about 4 AM. Work was 4:45 am, asking if he needed me in as I was pretty sure the roads would be flooded in parts. He replied saying I needed to be there, so off I went in my partner's truck just in case. Huge parts of the road were submerged and had to take several different routes just to get there. Arrived at maybe 5 AM due to diversions, only to be met by one of the other workers who was heading home. Apparently the boss thought it was too wet to work the horses, so we weren't needed. I was livid and honestly debated sending him a bill for the diesel used. Was on a team, about 15 people, for a special project for a regional internet service provider. During the bi-weekly team meeting the manager was super pumped about how far ahead of schedule we were due to some new processes we came up with. After about 20 minutes of attaboys, the manager concluded with telling us all we were being laid off in the same tone of voice she used for the whole meeting, issuing a bunch of praise. Most of us awkwardly laughed for a couple seconds thinking she was joking. She was not. Last year, the company I work for had a trend of starting every announcement of some problem or something gone screwy with a cheery, good news, and then an attempt to spin the problem as a good thing. Good news. Our lab is so busy that now it's a week turnaround time on all orders. We know your customers still expect our old same day service, so we are only setting your goals 3% higher and cutting your store's hours by 10% compared to last year when we had same day or 3-day services available, but we know our associates are up to the task. We all learned to duck and cover when we heard good news. That, and we are continuing to lead the industry by and then announcing what other companies have done for years. In Portugal during the World Cup, get there early to find a street bar in the center with a big screen. Place is soon packed. England start really well and everyone is singing and laughing. All of a sudden the bar up the road erupts into massive cheers. Lots of people go out into the road to see. Apparently someone just dropped an entire tray of drinks. We all laugh and go back to watching the game. 10 seconds later England score. Our bar erupts and we spill into the street. The bar up the road is deadly silent now. Weird. The game starts again and the bar up the road starts shouting again. Nothing in the game. What's going on? People look up the road again. Can't quite work it out. Then a really bad tackle goes in and the penny finally drops. Our bar's TV is the only one using satellite and all the other bars have cable. Our feed is about 20 seconds behind everywhere else. Every exciting moment is audible about 20 seconds before we get to see it. Have never seen a bar empty so fast in all my life. Not exactly a room, but our plane landed home after my company spent a year in Iraq. Our company commander previously told us to tell our families that they shouldn't come out to the tarmac to welcome us back because it would be a freaking circus and you'll just see them later anyway. Stepping off the plane, who are the first and only people we see? Our freaking commander's wife, 3 kids, parents, grandparents, brothers, and numerous cousins/friends. We were coming back from a 3-month exercise in Korea and our command told families to come out and meet us at the tarmac. Then when we all said hello to our loved ones, our command told us to unpack and then we could break for a 96-hour limo. Well, we unpack for 2 hours while our families twiddle their thumbs and start telling we'll see you after work. I ask my wife to cook up some steak for us and promise her that we'd have fun after I got home, yada yada yada. Well anyway, we get finished and start getting ready to call our families to come pick us up when our frick-faced company commander yells at us to get into formation. He then proceeds to tell us that a pair of NVG's night vision goggles is missing and we couldn't leave until we found them. We unpacked and packed very freaking connects box until midnight when Captain Frickface goes into his office for the first time that day and comes right back out and calls us to formation again. Says something to the effect of devils, I'll let you go home tonight. Formation in the morning to determine if the 96 hours libo would be in effect. Well, our master sergeant was pretty pissed because his wife has snitched him out for not getting home. Hey Captain, the NVGs were in your damn office, weren't they? Captain Frickface squirms and tells him to get us home for the night. About 2 hours later we all got a mass text saying morning formation was cancelled and to be back at the end of the 96. Family gathering was going great until the host realized she was missing thousands of dollars worth of jewelry. She started accusing everyone of being thieves until her husband said he put it away without telling her. This happened to me at a wedding. After the ceremony and before reception started, everyone was having drinks and the groom came in and started yelling about how an expensive gift had been stolen. He was rushing around yelling and screaming. Then, after about 30 minutes of all the guests searching everywhere, they worked out one of the bridesmaids had put it in her car for safekeeping and forgot. It really left a weird vibe over the whole reception. It wasn't a great way to start their marriage, with him in a rage. Edit. Reddit detectives really cracked the case on this one. It was 100% an accident. It was a bracelet the groom purchased as a gift for the bride that got put into a bag with other gifts for safekeeping in her car. She forgot the bracelet box was in the bag as well. One day at work we had an hour meeting followed by a planned pizza party as a reward for meeting some safety goal. They'd been telling us all week not to worry about food because they were getting pizza. Well, after the meeting we're sitting around waiting for the pizza to get there when our boss comes in and tells us there was a failure of communication and no one actually ordered the pizza. If you want to see 50 factory workers go from excited to murder ready in less than a second, that's what you tell them.